All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Welcome to the Stop Listen Podcast. I'm your host, Jamie. Happy 4th of July, or Independence Day, or Happy American Pride Month. Happy American Pride Month. Fantastic. We can't just genuflect. We can't just bend down on our knees and accept what screens are convincing us is acceptable. So today is Independence Day, and I intend to celebrate. I love my country, and our country's in peril right now. Apparently, in 2020, our country elected 81 million people voted for a elderly man who isn't cognitively with it exactly. But to ensure that our country wouldn't lack for leadership, Joe Biden said on the campaign trail he was going to pick a black woman as his vice presidential candidate. And quickly went with Kamala Harris because, as great as black women can be at many things, politicians, there's just not a lot there at this point. That doesn't mean there won't be in the future. I'm sure there will be in the future. But I digress. So Biden had the disastrous debate performance against President Trump. And the media turned like that, which I always knew would happen. I thought it would happen long prior to this. Like, I thought this would be a year or more ago that this would happen. But I knew it would happen immediately. It wasn't going to be a gradual turn. It would be one day, it'd be like, oh, he's out. So apparently Jill Biden, his wife, Joe's wife, the First Lady, and Hunter Biden, the embattled son of Joe Biden, are the ones advising him to stick with it. Pardon, I had to refill my coffee cup. Don't mess with Texas. Because ultimately, I feel like safety, security, freedom, all that good stuff that we value in our daily lives, I think is going to be had underneath the United States of Texas. But anyway, there's a lot of coverage out there. I don't need to rehash it all. But it seems as if we're a week or two away from President Kamala Harris. Because they have to. Like, they're not going to, apparently, convincing him to announce. The focus seems to be on convincing Biden that he shouldn't run for 2024. I guess it doesn't matter who's actually running our country for the next several months while we're on the brink of World War III. I would think the move is to remove Biden from office using the 25th Amendment, then insert Kamala, and then say, hey, you'll be rewarded with something. Or threatened with something. And then she'll say she's not running, and then they can have an open convention and they pick who they want. Which is kind of how they operate.
It's a crock of shit.
But now, I don't know. So who could the next Democratic candidate be? Of course, this creepy guy, Gavin Newsom, who's destroying the great state of California, he seems to be the leading candidate. But he's not it. There's also the witch who is ruining Michigan. Maybe not ruining it, but certainly doing damage, and did not service the elderly in her state very well during COVID. Then there's this guy, this big feller, J.D. Pritzker. He's the governor of Illinois, and he is the heir to the Hyatt hotel chain. And a big purveyor of the trans stuff because there's a trans person in the family. And of course, Hillary Clinton.
What did I tell you, huh? The world!
Oddly enough,
She's the
there's not
worst
really
in the
any
world.
senators or congressmen being talked about. Now, what about this guy? He challenged Joe Biden to a primary, as did JFK, and JFK obviously, but he was still around and on the ticket, from my understanding. Look out for this guy. Could they make up some cockamamie rationale for why he is actually going to be the choice? I would say that is a very realistic possibility. So we really should dive into Dean Phillips. But it's certainly going to be this woman. Apparently, Michelle Obama, who people on the right fear the most, which is kind of telling because she's not qualified at all to be president, but hey. We're more fearful of her than of Kamala Harris, who, I mean, was Attorney General of California, was the Senator of California, is now Vice President of the United States. I mean, she seems like an assistant manager at a clothing store. That's kind of her zone. I wouldn't put her fully in charge, but she could be, she could be a service. That's what she should be. Like assistant general manager of TJ Maxx, something to that level. Or, department manager, I don't really know how the structure works there, but something. Like, department manager or assistant general manager, I think, or assistant store manager. That's her cap. But she's going to be president, almost certainly. So what's Drudge saying? Scorn on the 4th of July, The Economist. I've seen a little bit on the No Way to Run a Country. So they got a little walker with the presidential seal on it. No way to run a country. Well, they just say that 4 years ago. Who will be Kamala's running mate? Okay, well, Drudge is going ahead and jumping right in. Now, Drudge used to be a big fan of Trump, spent time at the White House, and something happened. They broke up, and then he has been on a scorched earth campaign to use his platform, the Drudge Report, to get Trump to lose, whether it burns the country down or not. Now, I don't know if he's still
Today, Junior?
going to stick with that. We'll see. I mean, is Matt Drudge going to become a Kamala Harris supporter? I would say so.
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity. Farewell.
Who would his running mate be? It's going to be Pete Buttigieg, because you're going to get the diversity, the inclusion.
Meatloaf.
Ooh, now that's a hot lead.
What do they say here? Trump hurls foul-mouthed insult at Biden from golf cart, calling president pile of crap. It looks like that. Dude, like, you don't need to blur about crap. Joe privately remains torn between defiance and acceptance. Would Biden dropping out save the Democrats? So there's some talk, and it makes a lot of sense, that donors are going to pull back. They're going to stop wasting their money. But the money needs to go into congressional and Senate battles, so they don't lose control of the Senate, mainly. Because if they take a big step back, you are completely undoing everything Obama did. And that's why I won't, until election day, I will not believe it's not going to be Michelle Obama. Because she is the best hope of saving his legacy. Because Biden has hurt it significantly with his performance. Because Biden's going down, dragging the legacy of Obama down a little bit with him. And Trump might just finish that off, unless someone saves the day. So all the Democratic governors, 20-something of them, flew in to meet with Biden. And apparently, They say that Biden's fit for office. Perhaps they should have recorded whatever it is they saw that made them think that and released that to the public. Right? For the post-millennial, I don't even know. Let's just read this. Let's go. There's a GOP plan for an execution spree if Trump wins the White House. Well, okay. So this is taking a turn. Went to here. So now they're going to start killing more people on death row. Well, I have to say I have to disavow that. I am now and yes, I just said I'm now a vocal opponent of the death penalty. I've gone back and forth for years, not really been in favor of it, and now I'm just going to stick with my guns and say I'm against it because I want people to find Jesus Christ in prison. And you kill them, maybe they don't get there. Maybe they will someday. Maybe they'll regret their actions. Maybe they'll ask the Lord for forgiveness, and maybe they'll die in peace. As long as they're separated from the world, I'm okay with that. The conservative, mainly, the fear of death, is that keeping people from killing people? No. It would suck, but honestly, if it was life in prison without the possibility of parole or death, I think a lot of people would probably choose death. I'm guessing. I don't know. Is that an option? Do people actually choose that as a punishment? But anyway, back to my whatever this was saying. Apparently, I can't find it. Oh, here we go. This is an opinion piece by Kevin Schroff. A guy named Kevin that works for the Huffington Post. HuffPost. It's time for the Biden campaign to embrace AI. After the president's dismal debate performance, he knows that he might not walk as easily or talk as smoothly as I used to. AI could help with this.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
We can't fathom what AI is going to do to our society in the next couple of years, folks. You're going to take away all creativity, all of it. I'm writing a book. Or, not currently. I haven't worked on it for about a year. I took time off. I was like, okay, I'm going to get my real estate license. Then I'll get back to my book. And I was the majority of the way through the licensing thing, and I decided to do this. I could always swing back around. But anyway. In a few years, I will be able to just probably give some data points that I want in my book. And they could write it for me, generally. And then I could just edit it, give that personalized touch. It's not my book then, is it? In a year or two, you will be able to go and say, I want to watch Iron Man, but I want to see it with Tom Cruise in his 30s. And they'll be able to do it. You're going to kill all creativity. Now, the stock market, I don't know how that will be able to continue in its current form because someone is going to develop AI software. Apparently, it's in the development, and who knows, it may be actually being used and people benefiting from it. But you use AI software to find trends, which would make the stock market probably have a lot higher rate of return. Well, then it's just not your random gambling as it is now. Does that destroy the stock market? Okay, so we lose all creativity. I have no idea what's going to do to the stock market. But here's the thing where AI is going to help. AI, an app that whenever you're feeling something, you describe it. You pull out your phone. I've got a headache. My toe hurts. When I stand up, my right knee pops. Whatever symptoms you are experiencing, maybe you just tell it, right? Then AI takes all of your symptoms, combs the internet, and says, "This is probably what's wrong with you. We will send a report to your doctor, and the doctor can sign off on it." Okay, no big deal. Or, you know what? AI says we should do some testing for this based on your symptoms. Looking at it, I concur. It's going to streamline healthcare so significantly. Things are going to change. Things are going to change for the good of mankind. Things will get better. AI will be able to greatly improve the lifestyles of people just on healthcare. So we lose all creativity, but we get better healthcare, cheaper healthcare likely. What do we do? I don't know. Is that good? Is it bad? Well, it's both. So I don't know where AI is going to lead us, but leading us as a country, not so much. I don't think that's going to turn out very well. According to the AP, Biden. This is legitimate. This is an Associated Press. Biden 81 often sharp and focused. Well, that's good. That's a good couple of descriptors for the President of the United States. Sharp and focused, but sometimes confused and forgetful. Oh, like a child, or a very elderly man. Holy moly, folks! So. Sometime recently, Biden has sat down with George Stephanopoulos, the bag man for the Clintons, journalist from ABC. And apparently this is going to be a big thing. They said he may announce he's stepping down during this interview. Now, if that happens, I would think that Hillary Clinton jumps up at the likely nominee. I would think that would have a great chance, being that it's Stephanopoulos. I don't know. But these people that they're throwing out there, Kamala is an idiot, but she's a woman, she's of color. J.D. Pritzker is a fat white man, super rich, but nobody knows who they are. Gavin Newsom is a sleazeball, but man, he's a snake and he could slither in there. Gretchen Whitmer, you don't have enough. I don't think they have enough time to build up Gretchen Whitmer. Who do they have enough time for? Gavin Newsom is not smart to jump in there to lose. I don't think. Is this his go-round? Because they have to decide, are we going to put a sacrificial lamb up there to just show, hey, we are different, we're diverse, we're hip, we're cool, or they're actually going to try to win? I think the donors are going to put the money towards the campaigns of senators and congressmen to try to hold power or even gain it. Then you will have big DEI supporters who throw money at Harris Buttigieg 2024. Take your losses and come out stronger. But all may be for naught, because according to Mediaite, somebody just may have saved democracy. Whoops. Okay, folks, we're having some audio problems today. So I had to re-record this because this didn't come through. The last episode sounded like crap. So I had to just get the audio recording from the phone. So this segment didn't come through. So I'm re-recording this. And I think I may have figured out why it recorded like crap, and because it did it again. With all the drama surrounding the President of the United States, all may be for naught, because apparently a AM radio host in Philadelphia has saved democracy.
Andrea Lawful Sanders, it's great to have you with us this morning. Look, you got right in there with the president in this interview which aired this morning. What are you hearing from your listeners in reaction to what the president told you?
I am so glad that, first of all, thank you for having me on this morning on your show. It is an honor. I am so happy that that was the first question that you asked, because right after the interview aired at 6 o'clock this morning, I began getting comments like, you just saved the democracy. You were patient, you were kind, you allowed him to speak, and we understood what he was saying amidst the noise that we had been hearing about the fact that he was too old and it was time for him to retire and give it to someone else. And so I was proud of that. I was proud that WRD was chosen to be a part of this conversation so that people could get a clearer sense of what he was discussing and why he wanted to stay as the presumptive nominee for Democratic President of the United States of America.
You told my colleague Laura Coates that you were a little concerned in the wake of the debate. I think, were your listeners as concerned?
It was interesting because the listeners, as we were concerned, myself, Joanne Bell, James Peterson, and Niall Blass, who was 24 years old, we found someone who was much younger who was willing to have the conversation with us. Mm-hmm. As we were beginning to feel concerned, the listeners said, and they were typing away as we were talking, they said, I don't care if he's walking with a cane. I'm voting for Joe Biden. I am watching my freedom slipping away. And at that point, the Supreme Court had not yet ruled on all the...
So the implication is that the Supreme Court is just ripping freedoms away. So she's talking about, killing babies, of course.
Things that they'd come down with a day later, and that even solidified it even more for them that they would rather vote for Joe Biden than Donald Trump. So I was so heartened by that. I have been in many living rooms having this conversation over the last few months, and I said to the people who were, waffling, oh my God, this doesn't look good, et cetera, et cetera. I said, you've been listening to two men. Both of them are older than we would have liked them to be. But of the two men that you are listening to, who is the one that would make more sense for the United States of America? Who is the one that would work with the people? Who is the one that has the data, the proven policies that would give us what we needed as a country to move forward?
Imagine saying that, thinking that hey, my freedoms are being taken away because I can't kill my own child. So, national crisis averted. Democracy has been saved by a AM radio station out of Philadelphia that caters to black people, apparently. Is what I've seen on the Wikipedia page. Urban, I don't know. Black lady, maybe I'm making assumptions. But then this came out, so the original time I recorded this hadn't come out about the interview. And if you notice, they didn't play a clip from the interview, not even a few seconds of it.
By the way, I'm proud to be, as I said, the first vice president, first black woman, mm-hmm. served with a black president. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of the first black woman. Supreme Court. There's just so much that we.
He's I think he thinks he is he just said he is a black woman vice president to the first black president. So he thinks he is Kamala Harris. And does he also think he's Obama as well? I don't. But boy, that democracy, man, we just gotta, we just escaped. So hopefully this came through, and I will be able to get this episode up with a few minutes, folks. Have a good one. All right, so on to the next segment. Hopefully this came through. We'll see what happens, folks. So if you hate Trump, which one do you want? Gavin Newsom might make you feel good, but he's a white feller. Gretchen Whitmer. If they put Gretchen Whitmer up there, she will have a lot of people vote for her because she's a woman. And the governor of a key state. But if the polling shows that she can't win Michigan or might struggle to it, like, she should blow Trump out in Michigan. So if the numbers aren't indicating that, then she won't be the pick. I mean, it's got to be Michelle Obama or it's got to be Kamala Harris, unless Hillary Clinton comes in, for the win. Apparently, Hindustan. Google is providing me with Hindustan maps. I don't know if I was on here otherwise, but apparently he said he was falling asleep during the debate. I get sick of all these conservative, and it's not all of them, conservative right wing pundits and shit that I follow. And I'm like, man, it's just sad. I don't like Biden, but it's sad. I mean, it's sad what they're doing to him. No? I mean, he wasn't plucked out of obscurity and forced into this. He's an awful human being. Surrounded himself with awful people, including his own family. This is what life he chose, and this is the leader that we chose, right? I understand totally why you don't think Trump would be the person that should lead us. I get it. I think you're wrong at this point. I think it's crazy that you're wrong because it's Donald Trump, but almost all the polls have Biden. All the polls show that Biden very well could lose in a complete landslide if he remains on the ticket. But I haven't seen many polls where he's still dipping below 40%, and the Democrats are trying to take out RFK so they can get those votes back. Well, hopefully he stays true and stays out there. I mean, maybe I should kind of touch upon that on the next episode because he supposedly ate a dog and felt up a babysitter. Not great, but apparently some of that's kind of, it's not, it's just so simple. Anyway, 40% are still supporting Biden. That's significant. Does that show that 40% hate Trump just that much? I think that's a significant part of it, honestly. Or 40% are just Democrat, no matter what, or that well programmed. That very well could be as well. Trump won the first election because he said he's going to build the wall. Didn't build the wall. Built some of the wall. We'll never know how much. And we're going to mass deportations, he says this time. Well, I feel like that's about the same as lock her up the first go around with regarding Hillary Clinton. I don't see the mass deportations happening. He just went on a podcast and said, I think that even a 2-year and associate degree for a foreigner should be accompanied a green card to become a citizen of the United States. Now, I don't know enough about those issues to say that's even a bad idea. I don't know. It's probably not a good idea, especially when we have American citizens going into serious debt, getting worthless college degrees. I don't know why we're going to give foreigners a leg up on competing with those people. But hey, a meritocracy, right? So it may not be a bad idea, but the fact that he would say that, you shouldn't be worried about him. You really shouldn't. So that's just relax, people. Embrace the Trump, I guess. And 2028 is going to be a drag-out fight, if I had to guess. Because you're going to have, you very well could have this Pritzker feller from Illinois. You're going to have Gretchen Whitmer. You're going to have Gavin Newsom. You're probably going to have Pete Buttigieg. Now, the only person, like, that energy that Obama had, and I think Michelle Obama could replicate that, but Kamala Harris can't replicate that. Kamala Harris can't do that. J.D. Pritzker couldn't do that. Gavin Newsom, even though he's a snake, he could come like somewhat close. He couldn't do that. With Gretchen Whitmer, none of people even know her. Like, I was doing this earlier when I was typing that up. Okay, watch. Gretchen. So I just removed Gretchen Whitmer from my history. Gretchen Mole, Gretchen Carlson, Gretchen Wilson, Gretchen Corbett. I have no idea who that is. Then we finally get to Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot, which, like, so that was like 15 people were involved in a plot to kidnap her, and like 12 of them were feds. And then you have Gretchen Walsh, and then you have Gretchen Barreto, and then Gretchen Whitmer way, way, way down there. That is not a good sign that she is electable. She's not. Now, Gavin Newsom, right at the top. Well, okay, hold on, let me remove that. Okay, so Gavin Newsom removed from search history. Gavin. California Gavin Newsom election. Gavin Newsom, right at the top. JD. Nothing? Hillary? So, folks, we're going to have President Kamala Harris. This shit matters. We need to start taking it seriously. So, happy 4th of July. Celebrate our freedoms. Take this shit seriously. Take the election seriously. Hold your elected representatives responsible. All of them. Aldermen, mayors, governors, state reps, state senators, all of them. Don't let them get away with screwing us over, stealing from us, and putting us in tyranny. We don't have to accept it, and that is what we are doing. So, happy 4th of July, folks. Have a good weekend. See ya.
Boy, I hate being right all the time.
This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time.
This war stops now.
End the war. Bring freedom to our people.
No. No more tricks. No more lies. Only truth.
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight!